Welcome to the Curate Your Life podcast with Temetria, where we focus on curating the life you've been dreaming of, one goal at a time. Okay, y'all, I have a confession to make that I already made on Facebook. So it is true and it's official, right? Since it's on Facebook. But I totally slept on Ted Lasso. I didn't watch it when it was released. I heard about it and I knew that there was hype, but I just never jumped on the bandwagon, not for any particular reason. I just didn't watch it, but I just finished it. And I have got to say, I could not love it anymore. I love it. I laughed out loud. I said to myself a million times, I love this so much. So it's official. I love Ted Lasso. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. But like I said, I finished the series last night and I was just thinking back on it, and there were so many lessons from that show. So there's no doubt in my mind that I'm going to watch it again and again and again. It might be my new Golden Girls, which is quite scandalous if you know me and the Golden Girls. But today I want to talk about 8 lessons that I got from Ted Lasso that I was just thinking about, what are the lessons that we've learned? So these are some of the lessons that I think you get from Ted Lasso that I got or that I had reinforced from Ted Lasso. So I don't think I'm going to give anything away. I don't think there are going to be any spoilers in here in case there's somebody like me who was really late to the party and you haven't seen it yet. If you haven't seen it, I would say just go watch it now. Get Apple TV and commit to its 3 seasons. This can be a little bit of a Ted Lasso commercial, and just, again, because I loved it so much. But it's 3 seasons. The episodes in the beginning are pretty short. I think 30 minutes-ish. And they get a little bit longer towards the last season because I think they were kind of working on wrapping things up. But they did a very good job. So I would say go watch it now. But again, I don't think there are going to be any spoilers. And also, some of it was a little bit predictable, but that did not make it any less fantastic. So I don't think I'm going to give anything away. Okay, enough with the disclaimers. Let's get into the lessons of Ted Lasso. From what I gleaned from Ted Lasso. So number 1, it's the who, not the how. And that's kind of a saying in the coaching world. And it means that when you're stepping into something new or trying to create something new that you've not done before, you don't need to know the how. You need to know who you need to become to get it done. And people get hung up oftentimes on thinking that they need to know how to get something done. And you don't know the how, right? I think I've said this before here. You figure out how you're going to get it done as you're doing it. So you need to think about who you need to become in order to get that thing done. You have to embody that person who knows how to do it or who can figure out how to do it. And so in the case of Ted Lasso, he was an American football coach and he was recruited to go to England. I'm pretty sure it's England. I'll get that maybe on my second go round, but he was recruited to go across the pond to coach a soccer team, a football soccer team. And he has no qualms about the fact that he doesn't know the sport. And obviously in the show it's kind of funny, but he doesn't worry about it at all. And he's often asking his assistant football coach what something means, or he will say out loud that, oh, I don't get this game at all. And it doesn't matter that he doesn't get the game or he doesn't understand it. He doesn't have to know the how because he knows who he is. He is the coach. And he understands what his job is. So when he's stepping into that new thing that's out of his comfort zone, he knows he will figure out the technical parts, but he also knows that he has to bring and embody being the coach. That's his role. So thinking about like a real life example of that, say you want to become the vice president of a company. You want to follow that career path. You're not going to know the how it's going to happen. You don't know the exact steps. You have a general idea of what it's going to take, but it's really going to be who you become on the way to becoming that vice president. You're going to become the leader. You're going to become someone who's confident making decisions. You're going to become someone who follows through on what they say they will do. You're going to be somebody who will speak out and who's willing to be seen and heard, and somebody who is innovative and willing to take responsibility for the ideas that they put out there, and somebody who has the big picture vision. Those are all the things that make up the who you have to become to be that leader, to be the vice president of a company. The how will work itself out. So the second thing is you have to believe in yourself, even when others don't, because your success or failure depends on you and what you do. Even when somebody else sets you up to fail, you can be successful. If you're willing to do the work, if you're willing to take the chances, if you're willing to give all of yourself, you can be successful if you stay true to your mission and you don't quit. The third thing is to not let the world put you in a box. You get to determine what role you're in and whether or not you'll be successful. And if you feel called to step into a new role, don't hesitate or doubt yourself just because it's not something that you've done before. Don't be defined by your past successes or failures. Be willing to step into your future. So in the series, the team goes to this technique of football or style of play called total football, where each player has to be able and willing to step into the role or the position of another player. They need to be able to see what's needed in the moment and take on that responsibility or take on that role, and not just be hemmed in by the position that they traditionally have played. So in the show, and I don't think this is giving anything away, in soccer you have corner kicks, and I think they're just penalties, but sometimes it might be when you're bringing the ball in from out of bounds. I don't really know, but they have a thing called a corner kick. And I think traditionally there are players who are stronger at that or who specialize in that, and they do the corner kicks for the team. And in this total football technique, they all had to be able to do the different roles, play the different positions. So during one of their practices, they have the different members of the team play different positions that they're not normally in. They had the captain of the team do the corner kicks, which was not something that he normally did. And it turns out that he had a very strong kick, a very strong foot, and I will leave it at that. But the point here, the lesson for us, is to be willing to try something new and not just let the world put you in a box, or not just put yourself in a box because it's not something that you've done before, because it's something new for you. Be willing to step out and take a chance and not be defined by your past. So I really feel like that was maybe 3 and 4. 1, don't let anybody put you in a box. And 2, don't let your past define you. But we'll just go with that under 1. So number 4, be okay with asking for help. Sometimes you can't do it all by yourself. You can't solve your problem on your own. Sometimes you need that outside help and that outside perspective. So Ted suffered from panic attacks, which I don't think that's giving anything away. And he suffered alone, and he was hiding his attacks until he finally got the help of a therapist. And that theme, being okay with asking for help, shows up again and again throughout the series. So if you've seen it, you will understand where it plays out in different storylines. And if you haven't, be looking for that when you watch the show. Recognize when they know that it's time to ask for help and that they are trusting that there are people out there who are willing to help them. And think about in your own life, where would it be beneficial for you to ask for help? How would it help you get farther, faster, or to a different level that you may not be able to get to on your own? Number 5, everyone has something valuable to teach or to contribute. Be willing to see the wisdom when it comes from wherever it comes. Early on in the series, Ted realizes that a member of the existing staff is a valuable source of knowledge and a valuable resource for the team. And he didn't let his ego and the fact that he was the coach, the head coach, get in the way of being able to receive that knowledge from the person that it came from. And I'll just leave that there. Number 6, be unapologetically you. Your unique gifts and your unique talents make the world a better place. And I think Keely, one of the characters in the show, is the best example of this. She's fun and she's quirky and she's smart and she's a little bumbly and she does things. And it's not that she doesn't get them right, but she gets them right her way. And everybody appreciates her for who she is. And you can see that they let her kind of blossom and grow in her own unique way, and you see who she becomes. So be willing to be your unique self because you have unique gifts and unique talents that the world needs. Number 7, you need a squad. People who you trust, people who will be honest and supportive and tell you what you need to hear and not what you want to hear. And so Ted has the Diamond Dogs that he can trust for honest advice. And actually, it's a group of men, and it's kind of funny because they form this squad, the Diamond Dogs, because they need to be able to talk about their feelings and to have a safe place to be vulnerable and ask questions. And they call them the Diamond Dogs, but we know that that's your squad, those are your close friends, those are your people. And I think it's important to have that, to have 1 or 2 people that'll be there to have your back, that will be honest and support you, and sometimes give you a kick in the pants if you need a kick in the pants, because sometimes that's what you need. So having your squad. Okay, number 8, the final one. It's not about the goal or winning. It's about the journey and how you get there that matters. So Ted Lasso says over and over that he doesn't care about winning. He cares about the players. And because he does, they care about him and they respect him. And that's the real win-win, the respect and the relationships that they build along the way in the series. It's amazing. So those are the things briefly and without giving away too much that I learned during Ted Lasso. And I'm sure there will be more gems the next time I watch, and I will rewatch. So don't be surprised when we revisit this topic in the future. But for now, I want you to ask yourself these questions and really think about your answers. 1, who do I need to become to achieve the things that I want to achieve? 2, do I really believe in myself? Or what would it look like if I had unwavering belief in myself? 3, what box have I allowed the world to put me in? Or what box have I put myself in? And what would happen if I stepped out of that box? 4, where would it benefit me to ask for help? 5, am I missing the message because I'm judging the messenger? 6, Am I being my authentic self, giving the world what only I can give? 7, who is my squad? And 8, am I enjoying the journey? If you're someone who journals, I would encourage you to go back and listen to those questions again and use them as journal prompts. You don't have to do them all in one sitting. They could be different things that you ask yourself and journal on at different times in your life. Maybe write them out and save them and revisit them from time to time and see what answers you come up with. And always remember that Coach T, me, not Ted, is always here to help you. So if you get stuck at any point along the way, schedule a consultation and I'm happy to work through this with you. And we probably might need to schedule a little extra time to talk about Ted Lasso. But until next time.